And
Hey guys, it's Mark and Rachel. Or Rachel and Mark, whatever you want to.
we're doing a bard, or we're doing. You explain it.
We are doing our first little response video to our um, Bardic course project that we've been working on. I posted a video about it. I'll put a link to that below. And a link to my responses on WordPress.
And I'll try to do that too.
Anyway. So the first question was, what is a bard in your own words? Do you want to go first? Oh, yeah, I'm going first? Basically, in the ancient times, they were like the storytellers, they were the lore keepers. They kept track of all of the history of the Celtic peoples. So I think that a modern bard's job is to kind of keep that, idea alive and just spread the knowledge of the craft through music and song and even art, story, whatever. It's just kind of like our little duty to keep the faith alive.
Oh.
What?
So good. Okay. So, like, I know what a bard is historical wise. It's, the person who kept the tradition alive with, like, all the different means of things. They weren't huge writers. They communicated a lot. They told stories and stuff. And I see a bard today as, like, somebody who, I always have trouble putting my thoughts into words.
It's alright.
But, somebody who, like, takes the information that, like the mythology, a lot of the stories that we believe that the bards before us kept alive, and it's kind of like, our duty to keep that going and, like, help others learn that stuff and share what we know and take in others' knowledge and share that as well and just keep continuing the knowledge.
I feel like all of the pagans on YouTube are kind of, bards in their own sense.
Yeah.
I mean, really. And then the second question is, how did you get to where you are on your path right now? Here, I'll flip this around. My path, as it is, started about, oh god, how old am I? 7 years ago. I wanted to say 10. 7 years ago. What?
Damn, I was thinking 5.
It started 7 years ago when I was 10, and my aunt gave me my first deck of tarot cards. And I know that sounds really hokey, like, oh, you got into tarot cards, you got into magic, but yeah. I wanted to know why these symbols on these cards meant what they did. I wanted to, like, explore the mythology behind them all. So I started, looking for information on witchcraft, and eventually my mom gave me my first Silver Raven Wolf book and the pentacle necklace that I had for a really long time. So that kind of started me onto the, like, path of Wicca. And throughout studying, I met my friend Morgan and a couple other people who were into that kind of thing. And after a while, I kind of stumbled across the Celtic pantheon, and I've always liked the whole Celtic mythology and stuff like that. Like, I've always, been very much into my Celtic culture. So I found the Celtic pantheon and the myths and legends and how it tied in to Wicca and witchcraft. And I was like, yeah, this is right for me. So I started, working with the Green Man and, all that other stuff. And eventually I found Druidry, which was about a year or two ago. So I had just found it when I met Mark. And I think meeting Mark was probably, like, the biggest impact on my spiritual life that I've had, because I was working, and I would work with Morgan, and I'd work with a couple of my other friends, but I didn't do a lot with the knowledge that I gained. I did a lot of reading, but I didn't do a lot of work until I had someone to, teach, until I had something, someone who was as passionate about it as I am to work with. So, that's kind of basically where I am now.
Okay. So, how I got to my path today. In 7th grade, well, a long time ago, I was always into the whole fantasy, stuff like that. And I remember my mom watching this Lifetime show about this Wiccan teen who got bullied and stuff. And I was like, oh, what is that? And I bought the Scott Cunningham book from my mall, because they used to have a bookstore there. And because we got books to go to Florida for some reason. And I remember reading that and, flipping to the spells, and I remember seeing that chant he has in there with, like, the vowels, and I was like, what is this? This is just some fake. And so I put the book away. In 7th grade, I remembered it and I looked it up and I was like, you know, this magic stuff is really cool. And I checked out some more books in the library. And then I thought it was all magic. I didn't really know there was a religion side to it. And I started reading these books for the magic, but realized the religion in it was something that really meshed with me. And I wasn't really a fan of church. I remember going there and not liking what they had to tell me. I never really thought, like, a lot of people on YouTube say, you know, I've always was looking for that female deity. And I didn't really realize that I was always looking for that until I actually, you know, found it. And it really helped me. I did it here and there, learned a little bit about it, bought my first book, with my friend Josh with my birthday money in a town by us. And then I met Rachel on a bus because I hadn't seen her all year, so I don't really know who she was. Because she had plays and stuff. And I noticed her pentacle necklace, which was like the one I'm wearing right now. And, I talked to her about it, and she didn't really believe that I was, just because, you know, I was in 7th grade, she's in high school, and she's like, you know.
And like the couple times I had seen you, you were being loud and like
obnoxious, yeah.
Trash talking people, and I was like, wow, way to be.
And, the next day, I remember we had to sit by each other because there wasn't a lot of other seats on the bus.
No, I purposely sat by you.
Oh, well, Rachel purposely sat by me.
No, I felt bad, so I purposely sat by you.
Oh, and so
I was like, I thought about it, and I was like, wow, I was really mean.
and
unnecessarily so.
So I had the book that I bought, which was called The Only Wiccan Spellbook You'll Ever Need. I didn't buy that just because it was a spell book. The only reason I bought that one was because I didn't have a lot of money, and that was the cheapest book that had, you know, Wicca in it there. So that was the only reason I bought that, and a good half of it was actual Wiccan information. And I showed that to her. I had my Book of Shadows. I showed that to her and got to talking. She showed me hers, and she started to realize, you know, that I was actually semi-serious about it. But until I met Rachel, it wasn't like that. I wanted to get more into it. And so my friend Josh and I, we made her a wand from his tree and brought it over, and showed me our altar and stuff. And that whole summer, I was like, nearly, if it wasn't every day or every other day, I mean, it was at least 3 times a week. At least. I came over every day because I found out, you know, she only lived 10 minutes from me on bike, walking. So I was, like, here almost all the time. Just learning thing after, you know. I learned a lot of stuff, basic Wicca stuff. But it started to get into the point because Rachel was just finding Druidry. And she kind of, like, showed me the Celtic pantheon, and I found myself really drawn to it. So she started teaching me the basics of Druidry, so that I could involve the Celtic pantheon more in my life, like I wanted to. And, yeah, so I guess that whole summer was learning. I gained so much knowledge in that summer.
Even last summer was,
I learned a lot too. But the whole year, last year, I got into that Christian phase.
Back and forth between.
Yeah, I got past everything. And so ever since then, I've just been, you know, learning with Rachel a lot of stuff. She's learning more than I am, but I've been learning what Rachel's been learning.
That's debatable.
Okay, Rachel's been learning different stuff than I have, and I've been more interested in what she's learning than I've been learning. So she's been teaching me stuff like that, and, like, I've been just meshing my path, involving a little bit of Druidry. I want to get more into it, but I want to connect to the Celtic pantheon more first, and learn more of that knowledge, just so I have a basis of what I'm learning. But, yeah, that's pretty much how I got to where I am today.
That's about it as far as our responses go. This is like our 3rd or 4th time trying to sit down and make this video.
Yeah.
My dog, while we were trying to take her out, ripped one of her nails, so we had to take care of that mess. I don't put that on video. That was just mean.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's stains all over the carpet now, but that's about it for now, guys. Stay tuned for more videos and blog posts and all that jazz. So, blessed be.
Blessed be.